Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Tuesday, the 17th of June. Just to give you a heads up, I am off to clergy conference and then General Synod in Ontario, and then holidays and some Council of North work and some more holidays. So I won't be back until the last Monday in July. So I'm taking a month off essentially. We'll be, yeah, that's it. I'll be off till yeah, that's it. No church at home, nor gospel on the go until the the last Monday in July. But I hope you'll stick with me. If you subscribe and hit notifications, you'll get an email sent to you when we are back up and running, and you won't miss anything. And while I'm gone, if you would like to, there's a couple hundred different videos. If you want to catch up on things you've missed, you'd be more than welcome to do so. I love to hear your comments. They pop up for me as notifications when they come. So I'll miss you, and hopefully you'll miss me, and maybe absence will make the heart grow fonder. You never know. So today is my last gospel or last church at home for a little while, and I'm going to talk to you about something from um, Eruption to Hope by Jean Vanier. He's talking about risk and security, and essentially about relationships. I'd like to share this with you. He says here that there is also in the human heart a deep thirst for risk. All of us have this thirst, and the day we no longer take risks, something will have died in us. In friendship, there is this risk. I discover in the other a free person, and by that very fact, as a psychologist said, a dangerous person. He is dangerous to me because, in the end, I can never know him completely. He may hurt me. There is a mystery in him, the mystery of his liberty. I must respect him. He is free to love me and I to love him. Youth today has this taste for risk, but often fears that which follows, commitment. Another need of the human being, which is linked to this mystery of presence and communion, is the need for security. When we came into this life, we needed to have someone next to us, someone to feed us, wash us, and love us. And we know that we will most certainly have another moment in our lives when we will live this same type of poverty. We begin our lives in great poverty, and we will end them in the same poverty. If today I am able to eat alone, live alone, the day will come when I am no longer able to do so. Written in the metaphysics of my being is the metaphysics of my death. At some moment when I am sick and dying, I will need to have someone near me to comfort and assure me. One day I will need a friend's consolation. I found this really powerful because I get it. I get the risk it takes to say to someone, I love you, the risk it takes to open your heart to someone else, even when they have made that commitment to you that they will love you back, that they'll accept you for who you are, whether it's your spouse or your parent, your child, your friend. There is this element of knowing that at some point they could just pull pin and run. They could say, "Yeah, get out of here." I remember I had that when I was in grade 9. I'm grade 8. I started grade 8 and made a friend in school, and she wasn't in my class. She was in the other grade 8 class. But we got to know each other, and then over the summer between grade 8 and grade 9, we became best friends. And we were like that all the way through high school. And then one day at the end of high school, we I don't know what happened. We just all of a sudden, I took one day off. I had the flu. I was just like 24-hour flu. Took one day off school, and that evening we always used to call each other and say, "Hey, I'll walk to school with you. I'll meet you at so and so's house or whatever." She called me, and I said, "Well, I'll be ready. I'll meet you tomorrow morning." She said, "No." She and another person had decided they weren't going to be my friend anymore, and needless to say, I was devastated. But I was a 14-year-old, and can't skip school because your friends have dumped you. So I got up in the morning and I went to school, and it was lonely and difficult. But I noticed that there were other people I could be friends with, other people I could ask if I would sit with them at lunch. That was about the end of May, so I had about a month left of school. And I made some other friends. And I learned a little bit about what risks I am willing to take when it comes to friendship. I learned then that wasn't as willing to take risks as I thought I might be. And it took me a long time to open myself back up to that kind of friendship. Eventually I did. But there's always been a little bit of a guarded part of me because of that. it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. It's who I am. It's part of what made me who I am. And I'm okay with that. But I am that may be keenly aware of that risk element that happens when you are, as a person, are deciding whether or not you are going to open yourself up to the with a vulnerability that comes with that risk. That some you might get hurt, but at the same time, you might find your soulmate. You might find your best friend, that person who you can just, not see for 3 years and just pick up right where you left off. But you have to be willing to take the risk. On the other hand, there is the part of us that desires that security. There are people out there who are just loners. There are people out there who genuinely seem to be able to find their own sense of who they are in their own company, that they really don't need other people. But I think they're probably fewer and farther between um, than we really know. That lots of people put on a brave face. Lots of people, I'm a loner. I'm totally cool with that. I got no issues. I don't need anybody. But how many of those people are people who cry themselves to sleep, especially kids? How many of them are people who, handle the everyday things no problem, but when something bigger happens, like a parent or a family member dies or something, and they realize they're surrounded by nothing. There's no one they can talk to. There's no coworker they know well enough to be able to go to and say, this is what just happened. Just their boss who says, well, you get your 3 days, grief leave when, go do the funeral and come back, things like that. And if you need anything, you always come in my office, as they cross their fingers and hope it never happens. Even those, for the most part, probably 99% of society really does have that part of them that no matter how risk averse they are, how unwilling they are to open themselves up to making those friendships or those relationships, there's a part of them that craves the security that comes in those friendships. As Jean Vanier said, when we're born, when we're babies, we are absolutely 100% reliant on the security that comes from a parent or a parent figure. We need someone to dress us and to feed us and to bathe us, to tuck us into bed, to change our diapers. And as we get older, we gain a little bit more independence. We still have those needs. And truth be told, we always have those needs. But then it's very obvious as we get to the end of our lives, especially if the end of our lives happens to be at a later age, that we do end up needing to have people with us to assist us with mobility, to have people maybe make our meals, sometimes even feed us and change us, and all of those things. And as much as that's a difficult thing to think of, especially when you're my age, that sense of needing that strength, that strong security is huge. That we have risks that we're willing or not willing to take, but we also have the need for security, whether we acknowledge it or not. And they're sort of two sides of the same coin. They're both about relationships and about our willingness and our ability to free ourselves up to build those relationships, and the ability for us to accept that when we build those relationships, we might get hurt. But maybe the risk of the hurt is worth the gift of security. It's something to think about as you go about your summer, as you go about the next month until I come back and we hang out together again. What are the risks what are the risks you're willing to take to create the security that you recognize you need? And how much of the security are you willing to go without if you're not willing to take the risks? I think probably at the end of the day, we're all willing to take some risks if it means we'll have some security. It's a balancing act, but that's part of being alive, isn't it? Figuring out what is that gentle balance in who we are and what we do and what we need. My prayer for you as you go through the next month is that you will have what you need, and that you will find an ability to take risks that will strengthen your security, and that you will find that you can reach out to others and discover maybe some relationships that you never thought you needed, but you absolutely do and will be joy-filled to have. God bless you. I will miss you. Please hang out with me. Check out my other videos from the last couple of years, and I'll see you again in late July. God bless everybody.